The cold darkness of space stretched endlessly. Stars twinkled far away, and silence ruled the void. But that silence was about to break. Captain Valar of the Empire's patrol ship Virex sat in his command chair, watching the empty radar screen. It had been a quiet week. No pirates. No smugglers. Nothing strange. Just routine patrol near the outer borders of Empire-controlled space. Then suddenly, the alarm beeped. "Unidentified object detected," said the ship's AI voice, calm but firm. Vila leaned forward. "Location? Sector 7 Gamma, floating in the void. No known ID codes. Bring it on screen." The main view changed, showing a distant object slowly spinning in space. It looked like a warship, but not like any known design in the Empire's records. Its hull was silver, worn and marked with strange symbols. It had no lights, no engine heat, no signal, just silence. "Zoom in," Vela ordered. As the image sharpened, a cold chill ran through the crew. Lieutenant Mira whispered, "It looks old, very old." Velar nodded. "Scan it. I want to know what it is, who made it, and if it's dangerous." The scanners buzzed, working hard. But the results shocked everyone. "No match found," the AI replied. "Structure unknown. Technology unknown. Possible human origin." The room went silent. Vela stood up. "Repeat that. Possible human origin," the AI confirmed. "That's impossible," Mira said. "Humans went extinct centuries ago." "Exactly," Vela replied, eyes narrowing. "They were wiped out. That's what the Empire has always believed." He stared at the screen. "Then why is there a human warship floating in the void?" They moved closer to the unknown ship, weapons on standby. No one spoke much. Fear had entered the room, though no one wanted to admit it. When they reached visual range, Velar noticed something strange. Despite the age, the ship was completely intact. No damage, no signs of decay. Like it had been sleeping, waiting. Suddenly, a faint signal blinked on their communication screen. "Incoming transmission," the AI said. "Put it through," Velar ordered. Heart pounding. At first there was static. Then a voice spoke. "Calm, deep and human. This path is not yours." "Turn back." Everyone froze. "That's human," Mira whispered. "Real human." Velar clenched his fists. "This is Captain Valar of the Empire. Identify yourself." Silence. Then the same voice replied, "You are not ready for what lies ahead." The signal ended. Valar stared at the screen, thinking fast. "Are there any life signs on board?" he asked. "Unknown," the AI responded. "Ship is shielded. Scanners blocked. Prepare a boarding party," Valar said. Mira looked at him, shocked. "Sir, you want to go inside that thing?" He nodded. "If it's really human, we need to know. We need proof." 3 soldiers and 1 tech officer joined Velar in the shuttle. As they flew toward the strange ship, the Empire's cruiser stayed at a safe distance, weapons ready. The docking was smooth, almost too smooth. The ancient ship's airlock opened, as if it had been waiting. They stepped inside, weapons drawn. The inside was dark, quiet, but clean. No dust, no bodies, just long, empty corridors with glowing lines along the floor. "This place gives me chills," said one soldier. "Keep moving," Valar ordered. As they explored, they found control panels with symbols in old Earth languages. Languages thought lost forever. "Definitely human," the tech whispered. "But this tech is far more advanced than anything we have." Then, in a large chamber, they found something truly shocking. A stasis pod inside it. A living human, a man, wearing an old but powerful-looking uniform, floated in deep sleep. His body looked strong, not old, as if frozen in time. Velar approached slowly. "Is he alive?" Mira asked through comms. The tech checked the pod's panel. "Yes, vital signs stable. He's been asleep for a very long time." Suddenly, the man's eyes snapped open. Everyone jumped back. The pod hissed and opened. The man stepped out, calm and alert, his eyes scanning them. Velar raised his weapon. "Who are you?" The man looked around, then smiled slightly. "You have forgotten what fear feels like. I will remind you." Before they could react, the man raised his hand, and their weapons were pulled from their grips by a strange magnetic force. "Impossible!" the tech gasped. The man walked past them, as if they were nothing. "This is only the beginning," he said. He vanished into the corridor. Back on the Empire ship, alarms screamed, multiple energy signatures appearing. The AI warned, "All around us." On the screen, tiny flashes of light blinked into existence, more human ships uncloaking from the void. Velar, still aboard the ancient ship, watched in horror. "They're back," he whispered. "The humans are back, and this time they were not hiding." The Empire's fear, the Imperial Council Hall, was silent. The video of Captain Velar's discovery played again on the huge central screen. The human ship in the void, the mysterious man from the stasis pod, and then the fleet of warships that appeared from nowhere. High Chancellor Vorex sat still, his golden robe shining under the dim lights. His face was calm, but his eyes showed fear, deep hidden fear. "This is not possible," said Minister Kalor. "Humans were extinct. Our ancestors destroyed them before the Empire rose." "And yet," replied Vorex coldly, "they are here." A whisper moved through the room. Generals, scientists, scholars, all of them shocked. "How can a human warship survive in the void for centuries?" someone asked. "Maybe it didn't survive," said a tech commander. "Maybe it waited." Vorex stood up. His voice echoed across the hall. "The Empire believed humans were reckless, emotional, and violent. We believed their anger led to their extinction. But now they have returned, and they are more powerful than before." A hologram appeared in the center, a map of the Empire's borders. Red dots started blinking near the edges, new signals detected. "These ships are human in design," a military officer explained. "They are not attacking yet, but they're watching us." "Preparing," Vorex said. "They're studying us like we studied insects." Meanwhile, in a deep underground vault, the Empire's secret history was being unlocked. Scholar Yena, one of the last keepers of the ancient books, opened a file marked Project Phoenix Human Threat Report, classified for 800 years. The file told a different story. Humans had not been defeated in war. They had left on purpose. The Empire had pushed them to the edge, but instead of dying, the humans disappeared into uncharted space, into the void sector where even Empire sensors could not reach. There they evolved, there they built, there they waited. Back on the patrol ship Virex, Captain Velar watched helplessly as the mysterious human walked calmly through the old warship. The man didn't speak much, but when he did, every word felt like thunder. "You hunted us," he said, "and you forgot. But we remembered. Every wound, every betrayal. We remember your fear. And now you will remember ours." Velar tried to reason with him. "The Empire now is not the same as before. Many of us don't even know what happened back then." The man's eyes were sharp. "Then your Empire lies to you." Suddenly, the human ship sent a pulse across space. It was not an attack. It was a signal to the entire galaxy. In just 2 hours, every major Empire news channel had one headline: "Human signal detected, return confirmed." Citizens across the Empire panicked. Streets were full of people shouting questions. Were the humans friendly? Were they angry? Were they coming to invade? On military bases, soldiers were placed on full alert. Battle cruisers were launched. Space gates were closed. Travel across sectors was stopped. But the fear was already spreading faster than ships. At a hidden science base, 2 researchers studied the footage of the ancient warship. "This metal," one said, "doesn't match anything in our databases. It resists scanning. It adapts." The other zoomed in on the symbols carved along the ship's hull. "These are not just words," she said. "They're commands, like living code. They speak to the ship." The data was sent to the Council immediately. High Chancellor Vorex looked at the reports and said just one thing: "They are not only back, they are ahead of us." But not everyone in the Empire was afraid. Some were angry. Admiral Krez, a war hero and known human hater, stood before his fleet. "Let the cowards in the Council fear them," he roared. "But we are soldiers. We do not fear old ghosts." He pointed at the stars. "We will crush the humans again. This time, completely." His fleet moved toward the void sector, hoping to make a surprise attack, but what they found destroyed them. The fleet vanished in less than 10 minutes. No signals, no survivors, just silence, and then a single message appeared on the Empire's central defense network. You sent your strongest. We sent one. Send more if you wish. We will wait. The Empire had never felt this before, not in centuries. Real, deep fear, not from numbers, not from weapons, but from the unknown. From an enemy they thought was gone forever. From an enemy who had grown in the darkness while the Empire grew soft in light. In his private chamber, High Chancellor Vorrex closed his eyes. The humans are not just back, he whispered. They are angry. And they remember everything. He turned toward the window, looking into the stars. And now we must remember too. First Contact class space was quiet again, but it was not peaceful. Empire's largest fleet, Fleet 09, under Admiral Krez, was gone. 37 warships, thousands of crew, erased in under 10 minutes. And the only reply from the humans was chilling. You sent your strongest. We sent one. Send more if you wish. We will wait. Inside the Empire's central command station, chaos had begun. Screens showed scattered images of unknown ships in the void. Every few hours, one appeared near an Empire colony, then disappeared. No attack. No words, just watching. Why aren't they attacking? Asked Minister Lorna. Because they don't have to, High Chancellor Vorrex replied. They want us to be afraid. Meanwhile, Captain Valar was still on the ancient human warship. The mysterious man who had awakened from the stasis pod now sat calmly in the command seat of his ship. His name was Commander Rain, and he had finally decided to speak. You think this ship is old, he said to Vela, but it's far beyond anything your empire can understand. It sleeps only to protect itself. Not because it is weak. Vela watched the controls. They were like nothing he had seen before. There were no buttons, no joysticks. The ship responded to Rain's thoughts, emotions, and even his voice. You created machines, Rain said. We became them. Velar was stunned. You merged with your technology. Rain smiled faintly. We evolved. While you ruled the stars, we became the void. On the edge of Sector 12, the Empire tried one last time to talk, instead of fight. A new diplomat ship, carrying peace ambassadors, approached one of the human vessels that had appeared in their zone. Open hailing frequencies, said the ambassador. Let them know we come in peace. The message was sent. The crew waited. A reply came. Simple and sharp. Peace was offered. Centuries ago, you erased it. The human ship turned slowly, then vanished into thin space, using tech the Empire didn't even understand. The ambassador swallowed hard. They're not here to negotiate, he whispered. They're here to judge. The real clash began just 3 days later. In Sector 9, a mining station belonging to the Empire went dark. No distress call, just silence. A nearby Empire destroyer, the Emberlight, was sent to investigate. As it arrived, it found the mining station still floating, but empty. No people, no machines, not even air. Everything was gone. And then the humans arrived. 3 ships appeared around the Emberlight, sleek black without heat signatures. They didn't fire. Captain Vivos of the Emberlight tried diplomacy. This is Empire territory. Identify yourselves. A reply came in a calm, human voice. This territory belonged to us before you even had ships. You mined our bones. You took without asking. Now we return what is yours, emptiness. And then they fired one shot. That was all it took. A strange beam of blue energy cut through the destroyer's shields like they were paper. The ship exploded in silence. The battle had started, but it was not a battle. It was a lesson. Back at Empire Command, panic spread. We can't win, a young general said. Then we must talk, said Minister Kalor. No, Vorrex replied. We must remember. We must face them with what they fear, which is... Someone asked. Vorrex stood slowly, their own reflection. In a secret lab deep within Empire territory, a new project was reactivated. Project Black Sun, a forgotten weapon designed using early stolen human tech. It was never tested. It was too dangerous, too unstable. But now, the Empire had no other choice. They moved the weapon to the border of the void, a trap. They'd lost hope, but the humans already knew. On the command deck of his ancient ship, Rain watched the weapon from far away. His eyes closed, and the ship's sensors fed him everything. "They still think like old kings," he said. "Still building bigger swords. Still hiding behind steel." Vela was quiet. He had stopped seeing Rain as a monster. "You don't want war," Valar said. "Do you?" Rain looked at him. "No, we want memory. We want truth. And we want you to stop pretending you didn't start this." He pointed at the stars. "Your empire made us run. Now we have returned, not as survivors, but as judges." Rain raised his hand. His ship began to glow. "They will fire Black Sun soon, and they will learn what it means to face the void." Far away, on the edge of Sector 7, the Empire activated the Black Sun weapon. Power surged. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed, then darkness. The weapon failed. In its place, a human ship appeared, larger than any seen before. Not a warship, a city, a fortress, a memory. And from it came a final message: we are not conquerors. We are consequences. The hidden truth. The Empire was collapsing, not with explosions, but with questions. For the first time in centuries, truth became more dangerous than war. In the underground halls of the Imperial Memory Vault, Scholar Yena walked silently, carrying an old sealed data core. The lights above her flickered. Alarms echoed in the distance, but her hands were steady. She had read the files, and what she learned changed everything. High Chancellor Vorex stood in the Grand Hall, looking down at the Empire's last council. Generals argued. Ministers screamed. Panic gripped them like fire. "They are here to erase us. We must surrender." "No, we fight!" "Silence!" Vorex shouted. Scholar Yena stepped forward. "I have something to show you all," she said. She placed the data core in the projector. A hologram flickered on, showing ancient footage. Never before seen by the public. It showed Earth, a beautiful blue world, oceans, trees, cities, and then Fire Empire fleets rained destruction. Earth burned. Billions died. Not in war, but in genocide. "Is this real?" someone whispered. Yena nodded. "This is from your own vaults." She changed the slide. Another video. A human child, crying beside the ruins of a building. A woman, screaming into the sky as ships left Earth behind. The final message played. A human captain speaking into the camera. "We leave this galaxy not because we are weak, but because we choose survival over vengeance. But if you ever come for us again, we will return, not as prey, but as prophecy." Gasps filled the room. Yena looked at them all. The Empire didn't defeat humanity. It hunted them. It pushed them into the void. And now they are back. On the human fortress ship, Rain sat in silence, eyes closed. Around him, lights glowed softly. The ship was alive, breathing with him. Valar stood beside him, shaken. "The Empire lied to us," Rain nodded. "They erased your memories to protect their throne," Valar paced. "So now you've returned for revenge?" "No," Rain said quietly. "We've returned for justice, for remembrance, for balance." He opened his hand. A small orb floated in the air, showing star systems, marked with red lights. "These are the places your empire still uses for forced labor. Colonies where your people mine the bones of planets we once called sacred." Vela stared. "We thought we were bringing order," he whispered. "You brought control," Rain said. "You called it peace, but it was silence built on bones." In Sector 3, a new signal came from the humans. This time, not from a warship, but from a satellite left behind by them centuries ago. It activated itself and broadcasted a single message on every channel in every language. "We do not seek to rule your stars. We only demand that you remember the truth and stop living inside a lie." That same message repeated across cities, ships, and colonies, and people began to listen. Among the Empire's citizens, unrest began. Teachers stopped classes to tell the real history. Soldiers dropped weapons, refusing to fight humans. In one colony, children painted the ancient human flag on walls, not in fear, but in hope. The truth was spreading, but in the shadows. Others were preparing something worse. Inside the Imperial Shadow Corps base, Director Calros watched the chaos with cold eyes. "They're poisoning the minds of our people," he growled. He turned to his agents. "It's time. Activate protocol erasure." "What's the target, sir?" When asked, Calros replied, "Truth." The plan was simple. Destroy the Empire's central memory servers. Erase the files that Yena had shown. Silence the proof. But as the team approached the server vault, they were met by human drones, not machines. Living drones, part human, part AI, fast, silent, deadly. The Shadow Corps never reached the servers. Instead, the message spread even faster. The humans had been ready, waiting for the moment to show what had really happened. Now they were guiding the Empire's citizens to their own buried truth. Back on the human ship, Rain looked at Valar. "You still have time," he said. "Your Empire can still change, but they won't listen to me," Valar said. "They don't need to," Rain replied. "They only need to listen to themselves." He raised his hand. The stars around them changed, showing millions of human ships, still hidden, still watching. "We are not here to conquer," Rain said again. "We are here to give you a choice," Valar asked quietly. "And if we choose war?" Rain looked at him. "Then we will show you what true silence means." Across the galaxy, one thing became clear to everyone in the Empire. The humans were not invaders. They were survivors. They were memory, and now they were mirrors. War in the void. The stars were no longer quiet. Across the edges of Empire space, human ships emerged from the shadows. They did not announce themselves. They did not fire. They only hovered, waiting. On every planet, station, and military base, Empire soldiers stood ready. But deep inside, fear had already won. At the Empire's high command, High Chancellor Vorex faced the hardest choice of his life: surrender or fight a war against a force that had already beaten them without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, in the depths of the void, Commander Rain stood on the command deck of his living warship. He wasn't watching screens. He was watching history unfold, through networks, signals, pulses, all connected through the void's ancient pathways. Beside him stood Captain Valar, still wearing his Empire uniform, but with his eyes opened wide now. No longer a loyal soldier, but a witness. Rain turned to him. "They will choose today, and that choice will write the future of this galaxy." Valar nodded. "And what if they choose wrong?" Rain's face darkened. "Then we end it. In Sector 7, the first shot was fired, not by humans, but by Admiral Jernak, the last remaining war dog of the Empire. He believed surrender was weakness, that humans were bluffing. "Fire the solar lance," he ordered. "Wipe them from the stars." The weapon launched, a beam of pure energy, strong enough to burn a moon. It struck the nearest human vessel, but instead of destruction, the beam stopped mid-space, frozen, absorbed by a transparent shield. A moment later, a voice echoed across every Empire ship in the sector. "Your fire has been weighed. Your strength has been measured. Your heart has been found." Hollow. And then the void answered. Not with missiles, not with lasers, but with light. Human ships glowed, and space twisted. Suddenly, every Empire ship system shut down. Engines, weapons, shields, dead. Then came the storm. From the void poured swarms of tiny ships. Quiet, fast, precise. They did not destroy. They disabled. One by one, Empire ships were pulled from the fight, like chess pieces removed gently from the board. Admiral Jernak screamed into his mic, "Retreat! Fall back!" But there was nowhere to run. In 5 minutes, the battle was over, and not a single human had died. Back at High Command, Vorex dropped to his knees. He had seen the feed. The war was already lost, not in blood, but in understanding. "They never wanted war," he whispered. "They wanted us to see ourselves." Minister Lorna stood beside him. "What do we do now?" Vorex slowly rose. "We do what we should have done long ago." On every screen in the galaxy, a single message appeared. From Vorex himself. His face was pale. His voice steady but hollow. "People of the Empire. For generations we were told a story. A story where humans were monsters, where we were heroes. That story was a lie. We attacked first. We destroyed their home. They left not as cowards, but as survivors. And now they return, not with revenge, but with a chance. I accept their truth. I surrender our pride. Let this be the day the Empire stops running from history. Let this be the day we begin again." Silence followed. Then, across hundreds of colonies, millions of people stood. Some wept, some clapped, some simply closed their eyes, as if a great weight had finally been lifted. On Rain's ship, a soft chime echoed. The war was over. Captain Vela exhaled. Shaky. They surrendered. Rain nodded. But he was not smiling. "This is not a victory," he said. "This is a beginning." He walked to the center of the room, where a circular platform showed the galactic map. New lights appeared, golden this time. Vela pointed. "What's that?" Rain looked at him. "Hope. Over the next few weeks, human ships entered Empire space, not to take over, but to teach. They healed broken systems. They returned old knowledge. They gave every planet a copy of the Truth Archives, full records of what had happened during the human purge. And most of all, they gave the Empire a promise, never forget again. Many years later, children in both Empire and human schools studied the Day of Return, not as a war, but as a lesson. Statues were built, not of conquerors, but of two people, Commander Rain and Captain Vela. One, a man from the shadows; the other, a soldier who dared to change. Together, they stopped a war before it could begin, and in the deepest part of space, beyond maps, beyond time, one ship still floated, the old warship where Rain first woke. Its lights dimmed, its weapons off. A single message blinked across its silent console: "Mission complete." Then, like a whisper, it vanished.